tiempo, pero que topaya bote mi Man è differente temporada, bote causa emotion. La caen speculare, non mi si risplica show.
Sono te lá, vou dar me mais. Coração manda lá, que duro no like. E é coisa moça. Vou te me mal namorar, vou dar me full namorar.
Hey everyone, just settle in. We'll get the stream started in just a second. Just gonna let a few people filter in because I've got a cool announcement. Just enjoy the music. So, this is the Dennis from many streams ago. Fade this down now, so we've got plenty of people here. Nice, let's just see who we do actually have here at the moment. If my YouTube page will give me some analytics. Right, I'm doing the stream with a lot lower latency settings, so there's going to be about 5 seconds between me talking and actually you hearing me, which means I can interact with the chat a lot better in this stream, which is what this is really all about. So let me just see how many people are actually here, because what have we got right now? Telling me there's like 5 people here, but that can't be right. Someone check, tell me how many people are here, because I really want to get this going, but I've got a cool announcement about a remix competition. So let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, cool, there's like 100 people. Awesome. Well, welcome as usual. If you haven't been here before, the second I set all the color balance right for the camera, and then the second I start, I go all red. I always find this so funny. Like I said, I'm doing this with a lot lower latency, so if there's any issues with the stream, you just let me know if you can't hear stuff. That's what's most important. I'm on satellite internet, so if you don't see everything perfectly, that's fine. Welcome to everyone that's new here. I usually do these streams often on the weekend and on Fridays, so I expect there's going to be a lot of new people here. Many of you that have submitted a track already, your names and tracks are in the bucket, and throughout the stream, I'll be pulling tracks out of the bucket and we'll play those, but there'll also be a chance to play from the chat as well. So periodically I'm going to ask the chat, I'll say, hey, can you put your track names in the chat just once, and then I'll pick like 5 or 6. I obviously can't get around everybody's track, but we usually do like 20-25 tracks or so, and we do a couple of these streams every month. But you're hearing it here first. Obviously everyone else will hear this a bit later once the live stream is uploaded, but we will have another community remix competition on the Discord server very, very soon. We've locked in the track. I'm actually mixing, I've just finished mixing the track. Let's go full screen. I've just finished mixing the track this week, and I'm just about to I'm doing some like additional mixing, some mastering on it. And once it's actually published, we can start the remix competition. So I'm anticipating there'll be another remix contest starting in the next 30 days. It's been far too many months since we did a community challenge, so as you can tell, I'm extremely excited about that. And the second thing, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who watched and participated in my last YouTube video. It was a sort of big experiment for me, which YouTube hates. So YouTube didn't obviously push it out to a lot of people. It didn't get very many views, but I really appreciate everybody that took part, because it's something totally different for the channel. Obviously the algorithm hates that, but I really, really loved it. And a big thank you to everyone that well, just took part and left some feedback and a comment for me for a change. I really, really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get started with this. I saw Dennis, just picked him first from the list because they were a winner of these headphones I'm wearing. They won them in a previous stream. The headphones finally reached them. They're in Aruba, by the way, which is like a small island on the other side of the world from me. The headphones reached the island, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be in his hands in the next week. So yeah, we're just going to start with this. We'll settle in, set your headphone levels, let me know if things are too loud, too quiet, and we'll give a bit of feedback, and then we'll get picking some tracks from the bucket. So enjoy. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, right?
Kiabona mi site Usabota mi type Namita bugait Tu não stabi be hype Na bomira som patabugay sing balota Amigo boboni Clyde kokita furlay Hibuta alami Attention mi gabo mami Kaniwa buribami Waneko say peggy sweet Adrenalina sem fim Tinha escondi nessa monta time Que dobero freaky Involucrar Leve hero mane wiri
Alright, I'm going to pause this here. First thing I noticed, I just felt like the vocals were a bit loud just to get started. So I will just take those down just using this plugin. Obviously you do this in the mix, you just pull the fader down, but let's just see. The song's been sitting like this for 2 years, and it looks like they like the production, but the mix isn't like the cleanest, they say. Alright, let's see what this sounds like with the vocals down a little bit. So if I swap this, so to me, with this turned on, as in just the vocals down about 1 or 2 dB, I'm hearing that without this, the vocals are sitting above the mix. With this, the vocals are just sitting like right on the top of the mix to me. You don't want, in songs like this, you don't want the vocals really buried at all, but that's sounding quite nice. And the percussion sounds very, very dynamic to me. So we could pull that in with some compression, but I'm going to just open this up. Don't worry, this wasn't turned on before. I'm going to open an EQ up and we're going to sort of find where we think that percussion's really like poking through. Yeah, just seeing here. Nice. It's good. I can actually read the chat in real time. It's so amazing. All right, so it's about 120, 130. I'm hearing that the kick has a lot of like point or it sort of pokes here. It's quite, I hate using the word resonant. It's so overused in like mixing tutorials, but I'm hearing a lot of like, the kick is sort of poking out here, but it doesn't give me that deep thump that I might expect, that deep low end, that subbiness from a kick. So if you take a listen, hopefully you can hear what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it knocking here. Whereas I would prefer if it was like a little bit lower. Now, I'm going to pull up, have to do it, sorry, I'm going to pull up Reviver simply because I know that Reviver's low band processing is focused literally on about 60 hertz. Bit of a secret there, I guess. But I'm going to see if just pushing the low, I'm going to see if just pushing the low band of Reviver makes the kick feel a little bit more like subby and just like, you know, that kind of feeling where it sort of hits you in the chest. Obviously, I don't have a whole load of low end on these headphones, but I'm sure if I was listening on speakers, it'd be lacking a little bit. Adrenalina sem fim, tinha escondi nessa monta time. Que dobero freaky, involucrar, leve hero mane wiri. Nice, so we haven't really added any volume there, but if I turn all of this off and we listen to that section again, things just feel a little bit more dynamic, but not necessarily in a good way. There's not as much low end and the vocals feel too loud, so we'll go before then after. Adrenalina sem fim, tinha escondi nessa monta time. Que dobero freaky, involucrar, leve hero mane wiri. And then we'll turn it all on. And yeah. Adrenalina sem fim, tinha escondi nessa monta time. Que dobero freaky, involucrar, leve hero mane wiri. Nice. Okay, so that's basically the feedback for this. It's not all about plugins, these streams. There's lots of stuff where we don't use plugins at all, we just talk about arrangement. But I really think what you could do is go onto that kick channel. I don't necessarily think you need a sample replacement, but I would try to get some more sub into that kick drum, because maybe it's part of the production, but that kick really does feel quite pointy to me. Zur is in the chat saying the kick's got a kick, and that's how I feel. Lad Colton, who submitted a phenomenal track in our last stream said that there might need to be more emphasis, lines or harmonies, and I couldn't agree more with that. I think here for the backstory is that we don't really have access to change the vocals. You could experiment with some vocal harmony plugins. There's so many of them. Yeah, but anyway, Dennis, I really wanted to play this just to, again, acknowledge how good your track was last time, and also just hoping those headphones finally get safely to you. For anyone, you know, not in the loop, it's taken months for these headphones to get from the UK to Aruba. So it's been a real journey for both of us getting these like through the postage system. Anyway, look, I'm going to pick a few tracks from the bucket just to get us started. So for anyone that has never been on stream before, this is the fun bit, right? So there we go. That's the first one. Some of them are spam, unfortunately. I can't avoid that with a like public link, but we've got three there. We'll start with those. So this first one is, I don't know if I can get it to focus actually. Please focus. It says, no, it's, there you go. It says Botella. Anyone could freeze that. I want to prove this isn't fake or anything like that. So I'm going to go back here and we just find it in the folder. Oh, they're also a paid user of Boombox. So huge thank you to you. You see, it's totally random, but we just got that. Huge thank you because that supports me and supports these streams. So here you see the queue. And again, this will make more sense why. Now this one doesn't have an artist name. It just says Tack Kevin, but I will include it because usually I only include stuff if you know, you have like the artist name, but because you've got a comment there, I will add you to the queue because I like when people leave comments. What's this one here? Cool. And then I'll see if this will go as well. No, it won't. Never mind. This is Kalpanic Pawan. So we'll go back to this and we'll get that first track started and I'll add this next one. So this is Botella.
Estando en el trabajo platicando con mis compañeras. Les cuento,
So there's the cue.
estaba manejando pensando en mis problemas. Les dije, llevamos 8 meses sin hablar. Las lágrimas empiezan a rodar. ¿Cuánto tiempo espero? A que regrese yo lo quiero. Con pensamientos de ti me desvelo. Apenas yo iba mejor. Sin ti. Escuché tu canción en la radio. Mis lágrimas me están ganando. Tu versión no la creo. Tu orgullo y tus celos. Llevo años cargando esto. Mejor las memorias borremos. El alcohol en tus venas. Olvidando tus penas, estando a tu lado, cuidando, tragándome todos tus gestos. Yo solo vine a protegerte, me muestras que no quieres verme. Preocupada me siento cada amanecida, en cada pedazo se te pierde tu ser. Mis amigos y tíos son buenos, decías, te engañas tú mismo, me vas a perder. Eso era lo que yo te advertí, llamadas, yo ya me cansé.
Just gonna fade that down. We will come back to that. There's plenty of time to listen to more of that. Things that really struck me here, as you said, well, actually, we'll sort of read their message. They said that they got some work done on this track, but they didn't like it, so they sent it to Gabrielle. This is very, very common. Once you get working in this industry, like very often you'll be sent something where someone else has mixed it, someone else has produced it maybe, and you know, everyone's tastes are so different. You could work with someone that's so technically gifted, but if they just don't really see your vision for the song, so like a lot of stuff I get, it's already been mixed, and then I get the stems, and then you've got to like bend it and twist it to make it work. Just like Gabriel says, some tracks were stuck with effects, so you had no control. I think, given that there's, you say 30, 40 tracks, I think you've done a fantastic job of, like you said, you went for a wide, spacious, airy feeling and you pushed for max loudness and clarity. I think that's exactly what it sounds like. It doesn't sound completely crushed to me. Great job. I loved the way you did the vocal processing in this section. We'll listen again. I think it was it was like experimental. It was a little bit different, but it works. It doesn't drown the lead vocalist. It really supports well. We'll listen to that section again.
Olvidando tus penas, estando a tu lado, cuidando, tragándome todos tus gestos. Yo solo vi.
And I love how you just let those horns just sort of sing in that section. But I totally read the comments. Some people could say, well, you could push the backing vocals down a little bit further. You can make them wider. Often with backing vocals, it's usually the vocalist's choice. This is what I found after just dozens and dozens of mixes and masters, is that usually the vocalists will be very particular, and they'll tell you, because they know their ad-libs and harmonies more than anyone else, so they'll tell you if they want any of those pushed or pulled, so I'm sure they're right where you want them. Yeah, I really like the groove. I'm going to listen to a little bit more. Zur is saying it's maybe sounding like a little bit thin. I think this mix on some devices is going to translate to seem a little bit thin in the mid-range, a little bit too bright. So it really depends what they're mastering it for. Like, you know, maybe if you put AirPods in, this sounds very full, because I know that they sort of push the mid-range a bit.
Querías que yo me aguantara, pero en ti la fe perdí. Estando en el trabajo, platicando con mis compañeras.
Like, this bit's a little bit more full, actually.
Les cuento, yo estaba manejando, escuché tu voz ajena. Les dije, llevaba tiempo sin en el pensar.
I'd
La
probably just
verdad
nudge.
conmigo no quiso progresar. Mejor esto prefiero que no regrese a consuelo. Los pensamientos de ti ya se fueron. Te juro que me va mejor. Sin ti. Tu canción en la radio, yo escuché tu canción en la radio. Tu versión no la creo. Tu orgullo y tus celos llevó.
I'm going to listen to this section again with the EQ.
Olvidando tus penas, estando a tu lado, cuidando, tragándome todos tus gestos.
So if you want to, all I'm hunting around here is ways to thicken the mix a little bit. This is a song that would be really easy to thicken if you wanted to. You don't even need to dig into the stems. They probably don't want to. But if you're in the chat and you've got a song like this and you want to thicken it up, something you can do is if you grab the side channels and go for the mid-range, so like 600 hertz, that's still pretty, you know, that's pretty boomy. If you push that on the side channels a little bit, it can tend to give you this sort of warm, what's the word, like enveloping feeling, because often we stereo widen the heck out of the treble. We just like boost that, imaging plugins, everything's wide and bright. And sometimes if you actually pull a little bit more mid-range or even low into those side channels, things can sound a little bit more warm, so to speak. Again, I hate that word. So yeah, like any EQ, you should be able to change your band. Basically, almost any digital EQ worth using these days has the option to choose any of these bands. I'm not affiliated with FabFilter. I bought this. So I've just grabbed the side channels and I'm pushing the mids a little bit. Sorry, the mid frequencies in the side channels. Then on the mid channel, so very narrow, I'm trying to grab around 150 hertz and just push that up to try and emphasize the low end in her voice a little bit more, so her voice doesn't sound at all fried. So we'll listen to those two bands. When this sings again. So that gives you that warm feeling. And this should just grab the bottom of the voice. You can hear it just there. So that's very possible to do just with that. Obviously we're clipping the EQ a bit, which is probably adding some more saturation. But yeah, this track's a real breath of fresh air. I love the guitars. Everything sounds wide enough to me. Agent is saying I use a free EQ called Orange, or is that Q range, not Orange. If you can't afford Pro Q3, I hope that's a good EQ. I really like the Nova EQ. I think that's a really great option. But most stock EQs have mid-side functionality. Besides Fruity Parametric EQ2. It's funny, FL Studio told me they were making an update to EQ2 at the start of the pandemic. When was that? 5 years ago or something? They said there was going to be mid-side. Still hasn't happened. So, yeah. And Arya, you're saying you struggle with recording acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar, I mean, as long as your guitar is sufficiently high quality, like it resonates nicely, it's got good strings on it. And sometimes recording with old strings, old high quality strings is actually nice. It's warmer. Recording acoustic guitar is all about mic placement. You can go absolutely crazy. It's not, you'll watch all these, tell you what, this is gems, right? You'll watch all of these acoustic guitar recording tutorials on YouTube, and I've fallen victim to this. I made a guitar recording video like 5 or 6 years ago that doesn't really explain this, is that it's not just about the position of the microphone and the guitar, it's also about where in the room you record. You'll know that your loudspeakers, they blast sound out, and you have all these resonances all over your room. You can go stand over there and it's really bassy. You can stand a foot to the side and there's no bass. These are room modes or standing waves that causes this. The same is true. You could sit on the couch and record the guitar, and where the mic is, it could sound thin, but you could go sit on the other side of the couch and it could sound boomy, which is insane. So a lot of recording guitar is about finding that good spot in your room, because if you take your ear and put it down to the guitar as you're recording, it might be like, oh, that sounds terrible. One time I was in this, I should just make a video about this. I was in this big, it was like a really large living room at this old flat I was living in. It was a completely useless room. It had incredibly high ceilings and it was really difficult to record in, but the guitar sounded great. I was just sitting here, well, not in this room. The guitar just sounded good where my ear was, but everywhere I put a mic sounded terrible. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to put a microphone here at my ear, just pointing downwards at the guitar. And it actually worked. Like, it sounded nice. I got it back into the DAW and I was just like, there it is. I probably broke every stupid rule in the book and everything you'll hear on YouTube, but it really worked. Like, it worked to get the guitar tones. So break the rules a little bit. Yeah, sorry. Also about the EQ, Avenir says, yeah, there is a Fruity Parametric EQ mid-side in Patcher. I love Patcher. I'm just, I don't know, I like quicker solutions. The older I get, the more I just want, like, simple solutions to problems instead of, like, going crazy. Anyway, that was a beautiful song from Gabriel. Yeah, hopefully you'll see the stream later and absorb that feedback. Just as I've said in previous streams, but for anyone new, what really makes this special is all the feedback that's given in the chat, because I'm just one person with one pair of headphones. It's amazing when everybody here is sort of chiming in. Okay, this does not really look like a song, but let's just see. At least they've left a note, so I might skip this because there was no track name or anything, but yeah. They created it with their laptop, no keyboard. It's definitely a jingle. You know what I do like, right? The chords are nice. These chords are fun. I think what you should do is just, I could say take this back to basics, although it's a basic track. Work around those chord progressions, lengthen those 3 chords you've got, lengthen them out, and then put a bass line under it, and then just like drag a drum loop that's already pre-programmed for you so that you don't have to worry about the tempo. Build that out as a track idea, and that's the start of your track. The only thing that hooked me here were these chords that came in. I thought that was a cool sound, like work with that. Nice. I'd love to have heard more of that. What I think you should do is, like, this section here has groove. In my opinion, this is a little bit all over the place, but this bit has a groove for sure. There's definitely something there you can move to. So build this out as an idea, develop this chord progression, maybe extend those chords a little bit, add some more stuff in, pull this idea here out to a minute, get some really good drum samples on there. Let's hear what it's got. Yeah, get a kick drum in there that hits well. Maybe swap these cymbals. That sort of open hi-hat, I don't think it's necessary. I would say grab a good drum loop that really moves you, put it over this, get this out to a minute, and then submit it again. The next stream will be in a week or two's time, and let's take this idea somewhere. Let's make it something special. So we'll jump to the next track. I'm not looking for like finished, fully polished songs, but we want stuff where you can really get an idea of where someone's going. Zur is right, get a good bass line in there. Because this is long, I might hop through this section because I think the fun stuff's here. Let's just settle back and take a listen. Great balance overall. The vocals sound a little bit bright to me. Oh, that was an interesting movement in the bass. Someone tell me what the lyrics mean, please. Nice. I'm just going to stop us there for a second. One thing I would say for sure is this this track is definitely one for people who have like a good sound system, because this sort of section here, all the movement that's happening in the bass, this would sound really weird on like a Bluetooth speaker, or maybe if you're listening in the car. So this is one for people that are going to listen in like good headphones, or maybe with a good speaker system. Yeah, the stereo bass was like, I love that. I mean, well, hate, I was going to say hate's a terrible word. I dislike when people are just like, no, everything below 100 hertz must be mono. It's like, yeah, that definitely works for some genres, but why? Like, just do what you want with the sonic space of your track. And I adore the world building in this section. Now, I don't know what the lyrics mean. Please, hopefully someone can translate. I'm just assuming you're singing about something. It sounds like quite beautiful, but also like a little bit lonely, a little bit longing, that kind of vibe. Again, I hate the word vibe, but just the sonic world building in this section was awesome. You took your time. There was patience. I loved the shimmer. I felt the vocals were a bit bright. Usually I think they're a bit loud, but I think it's just that you could push the mid-range on the vocal and pull the treble back a dB, and I think it would, you don't need any special soothing plugin or any resonance suppressor. Just literally take the treble off a touch, you know, do this kind of thing at around 2-3K on the vocal, just gently. But overall, you've balanced really well. So thank you for translating. He's saying that he is alone and distant, that's similar to how I felt. So that's amazing that even with a total language barrier, the sonic world you created completely took me there. I thought that it was quite sort of like lonely, or there was maybe some sort of longing there or something. So yeah, that's awesome. Brushy is right. Everything below 60 hertz should have a huge reverb. Good job. Nice. Thank you so much for all these translations. Thank goodness. Let's listen to a little bit more. Forget about, yeah, don't worry about, and also, hey, I wanted to say one more note about the bass issue. I've seen YouTube videos as well of people saying that, like, you have to mix in mono, and I made a whole video about mixing in mono that was basically just like, why would I? Like, I might check in mono, but it doesn't help me. But anyway, when it comes to like stereo bass, I mean, I'm not saying every song should have a stereo, like, doubled bass line. That would also sound weird. Like, you've got to do what's right for the song. But there's lots of people on YouTube that will tell you, no, all club systems, all PA systems, stadium PAs, like big shows are all in mono, like all the speakers are in mono. And this is just total garbage. I know people that work at some of these shows, and they do all sorts of elaborate stereo arrangements. Sometimes some of these venues are totally mono, but there's all sorts of elaborate stereo PA systems that exist. I think people are stuck in the past of thinking that, you know, there's just like a one-track tape machine that's feeding like every speaker in the live venue or the gig. It's insane. Like, live mixing and live sound engineering is insane. And my friends that do modern live sound mixing, it's absolutely astonishing to me. It's so impressive, all these variables that they stay on top of live. Like, I would struggle to do it just in my DAW. It's phenomenal what they do. They can send stems to any speaker if they want to. It's shocking. Anyway, that's enough anecdotes. We'll just get into, we'll listen to some more of this because it's really beautiful. And I think it's also time, we'll ignore that EQ. It's time to pick a few more tracks. But we'll pick some tracks when we're listening to Avenir. We'll pick some more tracks. Let's take a listen.
मयसर हो जो तू रखे सबर तो वक्त करेगा तेरी
You've got a really nice vocal tone, man.
ये फलसफा तेरा मेरा चले किसका जोर जीवन पतंग करम गगन और तू खींचे अकेला हूँ मैं अकेला हूँ मैं इस भीड़ में तन्हा हूँ मैं.
Just as Arius is saying in the chat, you can really feel the emotion without understanding the lyrics. Just the way you're singing, there's something about me. I've written it here. It's the tone. It's just really pulling me into the song. That's exactly what we want. And I mean, these vocals could be recorded on an iPhone or on like I was trying to think of like an exact model, any studio microphone, and they're still going to drag you in because they've got all that emotion there. It's amazing. I was going to say this is exactly what I would use Boombox for with my clients, is that if they send a mix or production, I'll literally just highlight stuff and be like, hi-hats in this section, they've all got to go down 2 dB. It's so much easier than just writing out huge emails and time-stamping everything, which is fine, but it's just so much easier to grab it and go, vocals, they're all too loud in that section, you know, and then they can send me, upload a new version just directly on top of this. You can see this button here actually just underneath me. They can just upload another one and I can just A/B it then and there. It makes receiving mixes and sending mixes and masters so easy. This was a beautiful song. We'll just play out the end of the song and then we'll jump on to the next one. But in general, I would say this is all in the right place. I would say just make sure those vocals are not too bright. Listen on a few more devices, because in my headphones they sound a touch bright, like just a touch. Like maybe take everything above 5K on the vocals and just take it down by 1 dB, and I just have a feeling they'd sit really, really nicely. Yeah. And we'll let this play. Beautiful. The reverb on the guitar, there's a time when it grabs the plucks, and I feel there's this resonance at like 12 or 13K. I find it easy to really localize frequencies below maybe 6 or 7K. Above there, I can be off by like a 1,000 hertz, honestly. But I think it's like 12 to 13K. There seems to be this like something gets plucked up in the reverb. It's kind of catches your attention though. Maybe that's what you want. Really, really lovely stuff. I think I was gonna say Etan in the chat. Yes, you're the first. You're gonna be played first during the like the thank you section. I totally remember you from last time. I've got a note on my computer. Nice. Let's get on to the next track. Now, for anyone that wasn't here at the start, I'm also doing this in a much lower latency mode on the stream. So if you're having issues like hearing me, seeing this, if it's all pixelated or anything, just let me know and I can adjust the settings for next time as well. This is going to be loud, so I'm just going to turn it down a touch. Sorry, but this is Avenir with the track Come On Over. And while we listen to this the first time, I'm going to grab some more names from the bucket. Oh yeah. All right, settle in. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. Let's go to the bucket. We've got 2 there. There we go, I made it work. This is my face when I'm enjoying something.
Tonight I'm changed. After you, I know I'll never be the same. I feel the flame like the heavens falling. A spark in outer space, the stars are calling. So come on over, come on over, come on over, come on over, come on over.
Nice.
So come on over. Come on over. Come on over. I will never know where we could go.
Really good thump there in the low end. Synths are really, really smooth. And then the treble. Clean. Not too fizzy, yeah? Nice and wide. Right, so now we have the tough challenge of figuring out what do we do to make this sound better. Oh, hold up, I'm getting some feedback through my mic. Okay. Oddly, I feel like the bass was really, really good. I wonder if we can go deeper at all, but this is sounding really, really good. So let's listen to this final chorus.
So come on over.
there's plenty below there. It's just my headphones. I know I've broken it. Give us a second. Anyway, I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. This definitely doesn't need anything. That is absolutely for sure. We're just seeing if we can make this sound even more tasty. Yeah, let's see. Cool. Hopefully this saturation brings those vocals up as well. Back on. Wow. Really good. Really, really good. I mean, all I was doing here was I was seeing the mix to me just sounds so clean, and the master sounds very clean and clear. I was literally seeing if I just clip it, add a bunch of saturation. This is a good plugin for like testing that out. If I just clip it and add saturation, does everything just get like a kind of edge to it? Now, if you want the track to have that kind of cutting edge sound, that helps. If you want the track to be fun and more like leaning towards pop, then you don't need that, to be honest. But yeah, what do we think? Good. Sorry, the chat's so funny. We need more left sub. Oh goodness. Yeah. What do we think about turning those plugins on and off? Sorry, I got hair stuck on my face. And here, what I was trying to do was just push more mid-range into the vocals. The vocals sounded like really nice and bright. I just thought, can I get that mid-channel push up 800-900 hertz? A dB less at 250 can like clean things up, and then even just half a dB more under 60 hertz. These two combined, I really like the sound. I'll start with them on, then I'll turn them off. So good. Amazing. Avenir, by the way, he's a fellow Scot, which is cool. He's in our country, it's basically a stone's throw from me, but still quite a while away. You're going to have so much fun with our next remix competition. I don't know if you were here at the start of the stream, but I've finished mixing, almost finished mastering the track. It's got to be published, and then I can announce the remix competition, because the track has to physically exist in the world before we can remix it, of course. You're going to have so much fun with it. I'm so excited to see what you do with the vocals and with some of the stems. Yeah, Avenir, like his last entry for our last community challenge was absolutely phenomenal. So I expect nothing less of you, although I don't like taking any of you for granted. The fact that you're producing at this higher level, don't take that for granted. Enjoy it. And I don't know, I've said it all. Fantastic. I don't really want to change anything in the mix. Let's see. I don't think anyone else wants you to change anything in the mix either. And I hope that the next remix challenge will be By the way, here's the queue. Let me just move these off. We don't need that anymore. Here's the queue. We got 3 more in the queue, and then I'm going to ask for the chat. If you're not in the bucket, maybe I'll ask the chat. But yeah, this is do you know what's funny is like the last stream was so good, and it was every single track was from the bucket, and it was so good, like nothing pre-planned at all. And I really felt that was like the best stream we were ever going to do. And already in this stream, we're like, the quality is so high. Even if the mix and master needs an adjustment, like so good. Okay, yeah, like Zara is saying, the last stream was literally breathtaking. Each track I was like, that's the track of the night. The next one coming, I'm like, oh my word. So yeah, let's enjoy this one. Okay, so this track is wait a second. I hope this is their most recent upload anyway. Yeah, let's see. I'll check to see that they don't have 2 submitted before I play this. Sometimes people submit like 2. No, that's fine. This is their track. If you submit 2 tracks, I'll obviously play the most recent one. Right, let's enjoy. They feel like it's they want feedback to know if it's lacking something or if it's ready to be released for real. And this is often what we do on these streams. We often just give people the encouragement to actually post tracks and get their stuff out into the real world. Okay. I know I haven't had a chance to develop this sort of volume rise at the start. I would personally say do away with it. I think it's better to start your tracks at the volume they're going to be, because the first thing I wanted to do, just as someone that is a home stereo, uses Bluetooth devices, enjoys music, I was just wanting to turn that up right away, because I heard this and was like, okay, all I want to do is turn it up, and if I couldn't see this waveform, I would have turned my device up and then I would have had to turn it down. So I would say do away with that. Just get the groove starting right away. For this kind of track, let's just get the groove starting. But anyway, let's give it some more time.
You give me something special. Yeah, that just I could didn't catch you, but you did blow my mind. Give you peace and not cool on you. So the body that eat it. In the year your life ain't affection day in my day. I was on my routine, my dear. You away on me, my food in no tea or creature. I wanna hold you tight, baby. The holy bird, can you feel the place? Yeah. You make me feel like I'm the luckiest and alive.
The kick sounds like oddly filtered. I like your groove. That the kick is sounding like very big, but also like very limited at the same time. I'm trying to understand that, but it's like it's a lot of there's a lot of bass though. Like it's a great kick. It's like lots going on down.
You won't go Samuel. Me something special. Just I could didn't catch you, but you did blow my mind. Give you peace and not cool on you. So the body that eat it. In the year your life ain't affection day in my day.
Again, the vocals, I would say, as with some of the other tracks, it's like a theme in this one. The vocals sound quite bright. So I would try smoothing those vocals out a little bit, bringing some more warmth back into the low end. And maybe even once you've smoothed the vocals out, maybe push them up in volume a little bit. I actually feel like I can hear the vocals clearly because they're very bright, but they still sound like they're very deep within the track, at least on these headphones. That's what they sound like to me. So I would say if you make the vocals less bright, but then push the volume up, you'll probably still hear them with a similar intelligibility, but they'll sound more like they're controlling the track instead of having loads of sounds around them. Yeah, let's see. I'm not sure what language, but I heard Brazilian word for shake in there somewhere. It's just got an association, but so I'm not sure. But yeah, the bass is a little bit overwhelming. I do agree with Doppel there. Let me see. And yeah, there was definitely some English in there. I'm just there was some great comments a second ago. I've lost them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's listen to a little bit more. So, okay, I figured out what's confusing me about the groove between the kick and the bass. So hopefully you can hear this as well. The actual bass, like synth or the bass guitar, it's very like mid-rangey. So it's got a bit of saturation distortion on it, but it doesn't seem to have a lot of low end. There's not a lot of sub coming from that bass guitar, but the kick just has so much low end. So I know it's an electronic kick, but if you had a kick like an acoustic drum kit and a bass guitar, the level of the bass and the kick's probably going to sound pretty consistent, and they both kind of fight and push and pull with each other. Whereas if we press play now, the kick is just so loud there, and then the bass guitar feels like very very thin in terms of frequency. Because the bass line has some groove to it. So I would say this is almost all that needs to be adjusted before you can publish this. Stop making the kick like smack into everybody and try to force a rhythm. Take that kick down a bit for now. Get that bass guitar, fill out the low end of the bass guitar, make that really groovy. Then I think all the percussion's going to feel supported. And I think that bass guitar and the other percussion are going to have people grooving and moving, and it's going to be a lot more fun. Whereas the kick is a very intense kick drum, isn't it? It kind of sounds like it wants to be heard, as opposed to it's this like beautiful subby kick that's, you know, smooth and cool underneath the track. I don't know what you think. Yeah. In fact... In the chat, Super Trash Garbage says the bass is a good groove, but the tone just throws me off. That's what I think. Cool. Was it Portuguese? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I cannot understand. I'm learning Brazilian Portuguese, but I cannot understand European Portuguese at all. It's like a whole different language to me. This is really, really fun. I hope there's lots of comments in the chat, which should help you, but it really is that play between the kick and the bass that's going to take this track to the next level, in my opinion. So, this track from Dodo, we've got forewarning that the drop sucks, version 8, so... Cool. And Dodo, I think you've been submitting this for a few streams, but we haven't played one of your tracks in a while, so this will be fun. Yeah. Beautiful sonic setting right from the start. Beautiful. There's so many good things, obviously, that I'm going to get to the drop. I do think there needs to be work, but just right at the start, up to about here, like the sonic world building, this is again a theme here. I love the way this just throws you right into the world. That faller, the synths, beautiful. Love that bass. I like where it's building too, but when the drop comes in, everything is so wide. In my headphones, at least, everything's so wide that I just feel like I want a strong center image. I'm missing a strong bass and kick in the middle, because you've used the stereo image to the point where this feels like a super, super immersive. Let me take a listen in here, because it might be my ears tricking me, but I feel that at the start of the drop, I'm just wondering, like, where did the sub bass go? I think you've got, if I remember, these sort of growly basses, stacked basses that are very wide, but I'm missing that like deep sub bass in the middle. But I'm going to take a closer listen. Feel that I want more of this in the middle. Now let's listen to that now with this EQ on, then I'll turn the EQ off. Okay, I'm obviously increasing the volume a bit. I take that down a touch. I don't trust automatic volume on these plugins anyway, but yeah, it's still so much clearer to me. I wouldn't do this on the master. I would probably just pull the kick up. But yeah, if you did this, the issue is on speakers like my PSIs, these huge monitors here, you'd hear like loads of like there'd be this flappiness in the sub if I just did this on a master. So I'm not encouraging you to do this, but the mid channel, not the stereo, I'm just 3-4 dB. That's crazy boost on the bass. Side channels, 1K, 1.5 dB boost, and then stereo, wide bell at 6K, 2 dB back there. This is just, it's giving us that like supporting feeling where I'm not letting the sides get too thin. Because as I boost the stereo here, those sides are going to feel really brittle. This prevents that happening. And then this is just adding all that sub back in. I did automatic gain. Wait, that is automatic gain matching, isn't it? Yeah, auto gain. I don't always trust auto gain on plugins because it's so difficult. If you've ever made a plugin, it's really difficult to choose how to auto gain. Let's see. The chat seems to like the processing, but still thinks that the kick is really weak. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm not going to put Reviver on it, don't worry. Let's go for, what have I got here? Lift. Yeah, let's try that. We'll add a bit of saturation. Doesn't really need clipped. It definitely doesn't need more clipping. Do these together, see what that sounds like. I'll have the gain set up all wrong here. The saturation isn't helping, so I'll just get rid of him. But anyway, I like that EQ. I'm going to keep that on from now on, and we're going to listen to a little bit more of the song.
Do you want from me?
The drop does not suck, don't worry. It doesn't. But we do need a different kick. I would agree with the chat, even though this EQ is helping overall, we need a sample replace or some kind of additional kick in that center channel. In terms of stereo width, like the layering you've done on all of these like super saws and stacked synths, I don't know exactly what you've used, some kind of filtered super saws or whatever. All of that layering and meshing sounds really good. It does not sound like there are 70 different layers all just clashing with each other. It does sound like one consistent wall of noise, just like you've done at the start. Not noise, like yeah, it's got like a one solid wall of noise. Like I mean that as a positive thing. I hope you can understand that. It sounds all gelled together. It sounds very glued. But I think with all that glue, we just need a stronger kick in the middle, and it'll all work. Yeah, and to Splash in the chat, you can submit your track. You can resubmit your tracks from last time. If you go to the link on the old stream, you can access where you've submitted your old songs. I don't delete anything. Yeah, really, really good, really cohesive song. But yeah, we've all said it before. Don't preface your tracks like this. Don't do that. The drop's fine, but you needed a bit of help with it. Let's go. I'll turn this EQ off because that's very. Don't want those settings on the next one. And don't worry, in just a minute, I'll ask for names from the chat once we've finished this next track here. Oh, I was wondering where that was going. I was worried it was just going to be like drums the whole time. I like it. Let's skip ahead a bit, see where this goes, because it's a very long track. Ooh. This sounds like one of those like DAWless jams, you know what I'm talking about? Like it sounds like you've got all these things plugged in and they're just like firing off, and half the things are in time and the other things you're just kind of pressing buttons and hoping for the best. That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
It's time to get the ball into the swing.
It sounds like a sort of modern, like electronic take on jazz. So yeah, that's really cool. There's not much point in like dissecting the mix, let's be honest, because this is it's experimental, so it's just like whatever you want. I felt wait, I don't know what that's doing there. I felt in the mid-range like at times the synths, lots of the synths sounded like they sort of like jumped out quite a lot, but that's kind of the point. That's like in jazz when you've got some brass that just does a big, you know, like rap and just like, you know, goes crazy. So it's fine, it's dynamic. I felt that brightening it up kind of helped me follow those hi-hats and cymbals and stuff, but no, I'm not going to dissect the mix here. That's not, I don't think that'd be very beneficial. That's just like a really, in my opinion, it's a really nice sort of palette cleanser. But this is why I always ask people, leave a comment in Boombox. I know lots of you are probably new to Boombox, maybe you haven't used it before, but you can leave comments and timestamped comments underneath on your tracks, and it means that you can tell me and the community what you're looking for feedback on, and you can do this after you've uploaded the track as well. You can go back to the track and add all this in and upload new versions, because it helps us all know what to do. In these streams, you have the chance to get in front of hundreds or thousands of people for feedback, so you know, use your voice. Let's hear what you actually want help with. So now what I'm going to do is ask you to put your track name in the chat just once, please. And I'm going to pick just a couple that I see. Because it's good to get, you know, tracks from people that I can see have given feedback. So I'm going to go for Aria, because I can see you've given a bunch of feedback today. And just submit once, because otherwise it's impossible for me to keep up with this. Cool. And I'll do this one. Let's get another one. Nodos, you've already been played, so thank you. Let's see the next one. We'll do Sharky, because I've seen you in the chat. Oh, I can't see your track. Let's find it, though. Sorry, folks. I'll get the next track playing while I hunt for some, okay? I'll do Maverick. Who am I really missing then? This is a bit all over the place, but yeah. Okay, that's enough in the chat. Thank you very much. I'll pick a few more. So I'll do this one from Arda. Sometimes it's quite difficult for me to, you know, pick the tracks when so many arrive all at the same time. Cool. We'll go with that from the chat for now. So I'm going to leave this where it is. I do want to say to everyone in the chat, I always worry about whether I'm picking the right people or whether I'm missing people that are giving like fantastic feedback. It weighs on me. I know I really try to keep things as fair as possible. So I'm sorry if your track doesn't get picked. It weighs on me, okay? So this is Aria's track. So they're looking for feedback on the mix and arrangement, especially the drums. Okay. 2 drum tracks, delay to 1. We can all read this here. So I'll just play the track a little bit more. I just want to go back a little bit. So the cymbal, the sort of crash sounds a little bit out of place for me. And the reason for this is that I kind of like the warmth and the thickness of all those plucky synths you've got here. I love the way all, you know, that sounds very modern to me. And then the crash comes in and it sounds more like something I might expect to hear in like an old rock song or something. It just sounds like a bit dated. And the other drums are fairly electronic and they chug a little bit. The delay reminds me of the way that this great producer, Solo Ray, does his drums. I love the way he delays the drums like that. So yeah, no, the delay doesn't sound out of place. That's really nice. Let's see this. Yeah, Joseph's saying in the chat that the sort of pitch bend pads and synths are really, really sick. I would keep it. I would keep this. I would keep the drums modern, smooth, electronic. Think of those words, because this cymbal, I'm sorry. For me, that does nothing, whereas all the synths and all the other drums you've got are like moving. They sound like they're some sort of analog machine that's just chugging along. It sounds really, really cool. Let's just hear the last drop. I think what would suit this well, to give you something to replace the cymbal with, because I want to be a bit more positive here. If you add a really nice sort of smooth faller, so like a kind of white noise faller, although there's loads of ways to generate these, most sample packs have them, and just gently sidechain it to like sort of like a 4 on the floor rhythm, so that when we have this, when the chorus sort of starts, we have this effect that sort of goes and sort of just falls down. You don't have to have a chorus or a phaser on it, although that can sound cool, but just like physically gate it a little bit with the kick so that it's or sidechain it so that it kind of, you know, has that swell to it. It would fall, it would still be going and it would fall away, you know. It kind of like, it sort of pads out everything else. I don't know, maybe not. You could try it and it could sound really, really cheap. Like a faller, like a riser in reverse. This synth that comes in sounds a bit out of tune. There's something there that's got this, like, it kind of feels a bit like suspended. Like, I'm not sure if it's out of tune or if it just isn't resolving. Nice. And 10 points for the fade out. Love a fade out. I've said this before. I literally give my mastering clients a discount if they do a fade out because I just love them that much. And Nitesh, everyone's name in the bucket. I print the names about 45 minutes before the stream starts. That gives me time to like cut them out and grab a bottle of water and get this thing started. No, I think this is nice. I just think like you've got so many elements that work. I would inspect this extra synth you've got here. It sounds atonal to me, maybe. I would just work on, the only word I would think to finish this is just cohesion. If anything sticks out to you, ask yourself why. And to me, that symbol sticks out. But I'm sorry, maybe that symbol is like your favorite sample in the world, in which case just don't listen to me because I'm just one person with one opinion, okay? Yeah, cool. Let's head to the next track. So this is called Dance With Me. Or I assume that's your artist name. Yeah, and you're in the chat right now because Maverick, one time I had to write the songs out by hand because my printer stopped working. You know, sometimes even if you have if you run out of black ink, you can't print in color and all that sort of thing. You know, it's just like, but you know, I've had this printer for like, I don't know, 10 years or something, so it's lasted me well. Jade and I do accept orchestral pieces. Every genre, rock, metal, pop, K-pop, country, a cappella, everything. This is very, very different. I'm just such a sucker for these drums, so even if everything else is absolutely off the chain, I'm, you know, you got me with some sort of liquid sort of drum and bass. I've never heard a call and answer like this in a track like this. I mean, I'm going to say this isn't all to my taste, and that's what's beautiful about these streams. Like, I just listen to a bunch of music that I'd probably never find. But yeah, this is fun. I've never heard the synth sort of call and answer melody like this before. So let's just let this play out, see where it goes. Yeah, I mean, I like it, okay, but I feel like there's too many ideas for my taste. I feel there's too many sound choices and too many melodic and harmonic choices. Again, this is just me. I do think the mix is benefited by a little bit of a bump in the bass and treble. This is like a very common curve a lot of mastering engineers will add to stuff. I don't know if my ears are just like not dialed in at the moment. I haven't been mixing or mastering today. Today I was outside a bunch, so maybe my ears are not dialed in, but I'm feeling like I want more treble and a little bit more bass out of this. So does anyone else feel that? That's, you were hearing it with my David loves it though. You know what, actually a lot of people really like it. P1 is not sure about it, but David likes it. Nikki likes it. Gio thinks the bass is awesome. So yeah, it's, you know, we're all over the place. Yeah, I'm not sure. To me, some sounds just seem a little bit out of place. I'm going to see where this goes in this section. Okay, what it sounds like to me, and it just could be totally wrong. It literally sounds like you've maybe bought or just got like an update, and you've been given like 13 or 14 new contact libraries, and you've just thought, man, I need to make the most of my investments. I've got to throw them all into this track, along with some drum loops. So it's kind of like impressive that you managed to pull it all together. But to me, I'm trying to think like, what could I do to focus this in? But I don't want to tell you to just focus and refine it down and then end up with something totally boring. Yeah. Sorry, I love the chat. The chat in this is like a top level chat on this one. Like, I'm just not sure about like the drum and bass with the clarinet. Like I'm not sure. Maybe I'm totally missing the point. But anyway, thank you so much for submitting it. Again, it's kind of like another palette cleanser though. It's something totally different. That was from Dom Astro. Let's go for this one here. This is Maverick. Then it's going to be Deeper in Love. So. Okay. We can all read this while we listen, all right? Chandler, that's the best comment. That is the best comment of this stream, Chandler. I like this. Just turning the sound down and then back up again. So I'm just going to check the loudness because I feel like it's super loud. There's your problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I like loud mastering. Most of the tracks I master these days for clients are insanely loud. Like, sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. Not insanely loud. Most of the stuff I master will sit somewhere between -6 and probably -10 LUFS short term at times. But this one was up to -6, -5.9. It's so loud that everything sounds squashed, and it's got that very like industrial sort of like mechanical vibe to it, so to speak. I know that's like really difficult. Like, it's difficult to explain in words, but it's got this kind of trashy sound. Trashy is what I'm looking for, which is something people go for. They lean in. To some people, that's what a record sounds like. But to me, there's no expansion. There's no dynamics on any of those drums, on that bass. Nothing is punching at all through the mix, even though there's all these cool sounds going on. Let me hear a little bit more. the vocals do sound very fake to me, but as you said, it's a synthesizer V is similar to Vocaloid. There we go. So I missed that bit. I thought when I read this, vocals are by this, I just thought, oh, that's a person. So I seem to spot synthesized vocals so much, but let me see. That bass has got a little bit of dynamics. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, right? At this point in the track, it's not quite loud enough that the limiter is... There's more space, so the limiter is doing less. So this bass line, actually you can hear a little bit, it's going, oh, I can feel that sort of punching backwards and forwards. Like if you've got speakers, that's moving some air. But then immediately when everything else comes in, the track just sounds really, really flat. It's moving a little bit. So I honestly think it would be, from an arrangement perspective, I'm sure this does what you want, but I think from a mix perspective, it would be foolish of me to sort of poke holes in it in EQ, because we've got a dynamics issue. Now I can't, this is at a level where I would pull Reviver in and show you what that could sound like with a transient shaper, but it's just so loud that I don't think I could bring some back. And okay, this is what I missed with my mastering talk. So I was going to say, there's nothing wrong at all with mastering tracks really, really loud, especially if you're monitoring it and if you can hear the change in dynamics. Often what happens is when people are mastering at home, totally normal, if you've got speakers that don't have a whole lot of, that don't display dynamics very well, you could think that your mix and master actually sound very similar. But then I play it back on my system or in good headphones, and the difference between the dynamics that are in the mix, everything is alive and three-dimensional, and then the master is completely flat and crushed. So what you have to be careful of is if you're going to do very loud mastering, make sure you're on a system where you can hear that reduction in punch and dynamic range, and you can hear all of the distortion and clipping and aliasing and all these other problems, because it would be very possible to get this track up to -6 LUFS and still have it punch. But it requires being able to listen closely to all the compressors, limiters, and clippers. And if you do that, and you do your dynamic range reduction carefully, while monitoring each thing, making sure the attacks and releases are working, you can have a super loud track that's super punchy. But what's happened here is that the limiter settings, the compressor settings are not quite right. So it's got no punch left after it's mastered this loud. That's my take on it, is that there's definitely no right or wrong. It's just that, let me go. Yeah, it went up to like -4 LUFS, someone said in the chat. So the point is, it's not that it's wrong to go that loud, but it really sounds like you're compromising something in your track to get it that loud. So I would love to hear this, especially because it says raw master. I don't know what that means. I would love to hear this if you take everything off the master and pull the master fader down by like 5 dB or something, just so I know it's not going to clip. Send that next time and I'll play it. And then on stream, we can do a direct comparison, and then I'll try to master it on stream. That's what we're going to do, Maverick, because I don't want to just like tear this to pieces. I want to hear this without the mastering at all. We'll pull it open on the next stream, and we'll make this sound really, really good, okay? I'll save your feedback for next time. Cool. Next track. I think that's fair. What do we think, chat? I think that's fair. Again, there's no comment. I love when you leave comments here, though. Vocals up a bit. That's such a cool vocal processing there. This is really cool. I love that vocal processing. Oh, that's crunchy. Oh. That was horribly good. I love that. Really, really good stuff. I'm loving, like, you're pushing effects, you're pushing and pulling effects, which is what we always ask people to do, and it just it grabs your attention. Sounds great. That sounded like some kind of, like, ring modulation on the last one. Not as much a fan of the vocal processing here. I like this bit. Or here, was it? Yeah. Something about those vocals just sounded so cool to me. Yeah, they come back. So I push the vocals up. And I'm trying to see how there's some harshness there, right? I'm trying to use Pro Q4 to just like smooth that out. And because of plugins like this, like it's basically made plugins like Soothe completely obsolete, which is great because you can like really selectively, I mean, it's within your EQ. If you want to, you can just do the spectral dynamics. I don't actually use spectral dynamics. I don't think I've actually used it in a mastering job yet, but I like using it for this example. I might even put it just on the mid so that it's definitely only working on the vocals there and the stuff that's in the mid channel. But yeah, I love that. And then with Reviver, I'm just trying to generally add a little bit of a punch back, but honestly, I think it's doing too much in the high end. I think it was smoother without it. That's like way too much. You know, Nate has a great comment here which is saying the deeper and deeper part can have an answer in the track to break it up. That's a fantastic idea. So if you sing that line and then you have some kind of synth cascading and like replying to it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I agree with Brushy. This sounds like it's got a lot of potential, but I think there's just a few too many ideas jumping around still because the vocals go to too many different places, I think. But there's something about the vocals here. Maybe I'm just basic. Yeah. Maybe I'm just really basic. I'm sorry. But like the vocals there, like they've got like a rhythm to them. They sound confident. I know they're like filtered and, you know, they're like an octave down. The 4 months changed. So I can't really hear what you're saying, but the deep vocals are just like, yeah, like I don't know. I enjoy it. This bit's great. Like using that kind of thing as like some kind of, like you could bring it back and have sort of like an anti-drop where you bring those vocals in maybe a bit louder, but there's like less stuff going on and the listener's like, what? You know, like over here you could like, maybe I should split this into stems. It's a bit late. I know we've got a bit deep into this feedback. I wish there was a comment here, but I really think like there's something in this idea, you know, you've already heard me say it, but like there's something in that idea that I think that's the potential I'm hearing at least. Let me get rid of these. Don't need them for a second. Yeah. So not quite release ready, but that's kind of the point here. You know, when it got to these sections, it's just like there's like too many styles throughout the song. Obviously you don't want the whole song to be this, but I think this broken up with like normal vocals like you've got in this section could be great. Joseph, great feedback. David, great feedback. Okay, just before we get back to the sort of organic part of the stream, I do want to do my regular sort of 5-10 minute thank you section. Because these streams are possible because some people sign up through my link on Boombox and become a paid user of the platform. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to play a few of their tracks to say thank you, and then we'll get back to bucket pulls and maybe some from the chat as well. But yeah, so this section again, this is my sort of sponsored section of the stream that makes it possible. So this is what makes it all free. I just want to say Boombox, the platform we've been using for this live stream, it's no coincidence that I'm using it for the live stream. It's because I use it for all of my work. I use it whenever I'm assisting in the production of a song, whenever I'm mixing, which is very, very regularly, and mastering, which is almost every single day besides today when I decided to get outside and enjoy the sunlight. So I'm using Boombox for pretty much everything in my day-to-day work other than my actual DAW software, where I'm using FL and Wavelab. So I am on the Pro plan, but you can see what's available here. Boombox is an all-in-one platform for music producers and creators. Obviously, it's got all your basic stuff you'd expect, like an absolute ton of cloud storage for all of your audio and video files. It's where I keep all of my archive stuff safe, as well as things I'm working on. It's excellent for collaborating on tracks if you're working with people. You know, you can send FLPs, zipped files, any kind of formats you want, really. But on top of all of that stuff, there's a whole bunch of features like this AI stem splitter. We haven't used that in this stream, but we usually do. But you can read it here. What I use it for is all of these password protected shares and folders. So with each of my clients, I can send them their mixes, masters. They don't need to sign up. They can just access it, play it on any device, which is really helpful. But the reason it's an all-in-one platform, not just file storage, is it tries to, well, it doesn't try, it does all of your distribution as well. So you can see here, either like unlimited distribution or 2 artists and unlimited distribution to Spotify, Apple, and 150 other platforms. Keep 100% of your royalties, do royalty splits if you're collaborating. The plan here is that I don't really know for sure, but Boombox's mission is like, instead of having dozens of all these services that you're subscribed to all the time, it's supposed to be just one plan that kind of does everything for you. So as I said, this is sponsored. These are affiliate links. This is the top link in the description. If you sign up, I get a small, I get a kickback from this amount at no extra cost to you. So I want to be super transparent about that, but it allows me to do these streams for free for everybody. So if you want to join Boombox, you can do that using the top link in the description. And to say thank you to the people that are supporting the streams, I play a couple of their tracks in every stream. So hopefully yeah, there we go. It's uploaded. Now, the first one I said I would do, because we missed it last time, was a track from Eaton, which I'm pretty sure we've actually heard this one before, but this must be a new mix of it. So I'll put that one on first, and then we'll listen to a few others. Doesn't look like.
All of our good times will always be good times, but what if we lose our way?
We already played Botella, but that was a great track.
What would you say then? Would you lead me astray? I would cross the ocean, I'd bring you the moon, but you leave me hoping you might do that too. I would move a mountain.
Cool. So I think that's all of them for this stream. So what we're doing here is these folks that sign up, they can sometimes get, you know, a little bit more feedback. So like every second or third stream, and we've heard this song before, and I actually think I may have preferred the vocal mix in the previous version. I'm going to show you in a second. The vocals sound quite thin here.
What about holding
Oh, sorry. Did I miss you there? I'll add you back in. Don't worry.
me down, showing me how you
So I think I'm going to go find it, right? In the file search. Again, Boombox is great. Look, I can find it. So I'm sure if I go, what about me? Let's find, there we go. Okay, so this is version 9. Let's listen to this one.
I would cross the ocean, I'd bring you the moon.
I'll turn it up a
But
touch.
you leave me hoping you might do that too. I would move a mountain, be there. What about me? What about me? What about catching my fall, giving your all to be there?
So that was at about a minute in. I'm going to have to turn this down because it's louder, but if I
You
go,
lead me astray.
I'm just going to do a direct comparison.
What about me? What about catching my fall, giving your all to be there?
So I actually think, I mean, it sounds a little bit more pop. It sounds a little bit more like a record now, but this new version, I think everything else sounds fuller and better, but the vocals sound really quite crispy to me. And I think beforehand, she had a really beautiful, warmer vocal tone. So yeah, Devona said it best, actually. The new vocals sound a bit emptier. And that's what I think. Raj also says the older vocals are much better. This is so common. Don't worry when you mix stuff. It's like everything's a pendulum swing. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. Everything, you push things this way, you go a little bit too far, you pull them back. They're a bit too bassy now. You push it this way, they're a bit too much treble, and you eventually find a beautiful sort of centered position. And that's not boring. That's what people usually call balance. And then you can add whatever tone you want in there. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Sorry if you hear my dog barking. Yeah, of course Solo has a Boombox account. Of course he does. He's our doorbell. Right. Give me a second. I'll close the door, okay? 1 second, folks. Let me just... We're back. I am just more... I don't want to brag, but I'm actually proud of my ears that I could remember that I preferred some elements in the previous mix. And I think we all feel the same way. But Soul has some great feedback there, so read that while we listen to a little bit more of the song, because I don't want to judge it too harshly, okay?
I show you clearly that I hold you dearly, but you leave me wondering.
Like, the vocals are good here. Slightly too bright, but...
What about me?
The vocals sound like something's phase cancelling here. That does not sound as nice as this.
That I hold you dearly,
Vocals sound good there.
but you leave me wondering. I would cross the ocean, I'd bring you the moon, but you leave me hoping you might do that too.
So, like, actually, I do think everything else in this, like the song's fuller, it's louder, everything else is good. I like the vocals here mostly. It's the vocals in this section.
What about me?
I actually don't think this is deliberate. I think there's something on your mixer that's like, I think you've done some sort of polarity inversion. Maybe you've doubled something left, right, and you're doing some kind of Hass delay thing that isn't syncing up. I'm not sure what it is, but it doesn't sound deliberate because all these other sections sound good. Gio says it's like it's coming out of a phone speaker, which I totally agree with. Let's see if it sounds the same everywhere else.
What about me?
Yeah, but everything else sounds fine. So I think you need to adjust that, and then let's hear it again. But Etan, you can actually just send it to me personally on Boombox. Just send me the link, and I'll take a listen privately, okay? This next one, and you can submit it next time. That's weird. Oops, do I have a malfunction? I'll try that one again. Let's see what's going on this next one then. Sometimes when the folder gets very full, that's very, very weird. Give us a second, folks. I've just been signed out of Boombox. Never happened before. It might be, give us a second, it might be that someone is trying to like sign in multiple times with my email address and I've been blocked. It's possible. Now we're back in. Good. Nice, okay. Perfect. That was very weird. So I'm going to add those both back in. Let me find them again. I'm sorry, folks. That was odd. Haven't had that happen. I'm still going to be streaming for another like 15 minutes at least. So there's time for more organic tracks after this. We'll listen to this and then I'll cue the next one.
Make you feel radiant.
We heard this one before as well.
Radiant. You look like a memory. My thoughts are so clear. I don't need to say it.
I think that's everybody. Yeah.
I just wanna make you feel radiant.
So they're asking on a scale of 1 to 10, how release ready is this?
Make you feel radiant.
So they've already lowered the vocal volume since last time.
Make you feel radiant. Make you feel radiant. Make you feel radiant. You feel radiant. You feel radiant.
Cool.
Make you feel radiant. 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 I just wanna make you feel radiant.
This is all starting to sound like deja vu. I'm really sorry because I think we heard these last time. But yeah, the vocals are better. I think like 7 out of 10, it's release ready. One benefit of these streams is that you get to kind of keep coming back. It's just kind of a shame to hear it so soon again. I think the best thing you can do for this, because I can tell you've been working really hard on it since the last stream, I think just take like 3 or 4 days away from it where you don't hear it, you get it out of your head, listen to other music, and then come back for that final mix and master. I think all of a sudden it will make sense. Dynamically, you'll just get everything into the right place. Saul's still enjoying it though.
I just wanna make you feel radiant.
Let's see that brass. It's still very dynamic. Like you could probably even increase the verse level as well and it wouldn't hurt it too much.
You look like a memory.
It's very slow in these sections. Maybe you could have something building up a little bit more. I mean, one of the things you could do is after that final balance, what would probably be the best thing is, because obviously you're singing, I don't know how often you sing or sing on your own tracks. Sometimes you just got to sort of put something out into the world, publish it, move on to the next thing, and then you'll learn so much more. And it's not to say that this isn't good. It's just that the process of actually doing that, releasing, publishing stuff, getting it out of your head and then coming back to it in the future, you learn so much from that instead of getting too hung up on individual tracks. That might be a really important part of the process for you with this song, I think. Let's go to this track. For some reason, I didn't have high hopes about this. I don't know why. Maybe it's the the sheep. I'm expecting like a really heavy... Oh, I chose Arda earlier and didn't play it. Just a second. I think I skipped some people, didn't I? How did that happen? I'm trying to figure out what happened. So I had Arda, did I? Let me get this right. I don't want to finish this stream before getting this bit right. So, yeah, I did choose you, Arda, but what was the track called? Let me know. Let's figure that out. I'm really sorry. Let's get this right. Joywalk, did you throw a track in here? Nah, not this week. Never mind. Did I choose that? My mods can check that I did pick you. I think I did, yeah. I also chose you. Yeah, okay, so what happened? Something must have happened where I lost the... Sharky, what was your track called? Sorry that this is a bit slow for other people watching, but I don't want to mess this up. Not if I did choose you, Sharky. Not if I... Blue Skies. Got it. Sorry about that. I don't really know... No, let's get the right one. Yeah, how did I miss that? It's weird. I must have just completely cleared the, yeah, I must have cleared it. No, it won't be Boombox. What happens is when I have the queue open, you'll see. I was probably minimizing it here, but I pressed clear. It happens. I only use the queue feature on Boombox during these streams, so it's definitely not Boombox. It's me. Let's listen to this again. Those zaps are like quite loud. So overall, what this would need to take it from where it is to sounding really, really cool is that balance. It's like go listen to a bunch of songs that you like on Spotify, then come back to this and you'll notice you'll be like, whoa, my bass needs to be like 3 times as loud. Those zaps are really too loud. So get your ears tuned in, because if you push and pull things a lot, it can go from sounding a bit spooky and a bit weird to like really, really locked in. Yeah, that click is like really, really too loud to the point where I know it's going to actually be bothering people in their headphones at home. But yeah, that just needs a good balance. Right, this is the one we missed. Similar melody to the last one, oddly.
Peggy 18.
Really cool.
Hepsi içinden gittim seçtim seni. Hepsi içinden gittim seçtim seni. Yoktu hiç çekincem. Baştan belli zaten.
This reminds me of the audio in my last YouTube video. Again, for anyone that missed the start, thank you so much to everyone that actually watched that last video, because YouTube, the algorithm hates it because it's different. It's like completely experimental for me. So the algorithm was basically like, oh, it's not an FL Studio tutorial. Let's just not send it to subscribers. So thank you for those that took part in that experiment with me in my last video. Man, the reverb is like such a cool like chamber. Let's try and actually. Başka çarem yok ki artık. Hepsi içinden gittim seçtim seni. Hepsi. This is amazing, and actually I was already thinking it sounded great, and then I read your comment and you've been saying that like you've literally been watching me for like 5 years or something. I'm really glad that some tutorials have got you to this point, because this sounds really, really good. Like me, to some people this is probably too much reverb. I'm quite a fan of reverb on vocals. Some would say these vocals need to be drier, more dry, but no, I like them. This is great. I'm just going to skip around quickly. Only thing I would say from an arrangement perspective is, depending on the genre you're really going for, to not have a sort of break in this entire section. Like it's kind of a very similar beat the whole way. I don't know if it might be common to do like some kind of like piano, like almost like interlude or something, where elements of the track go away for a while. Like you lose your bass, but maybe you still have your percussion and your singing, and then everything kicks back in. That could give things like a bit of a like the track is hitting really, really hard here, but after listening for like 2 minutes, it might not sound as punchy at this point once your ears kind of get used to it. Brushy is just honestly brushy. He's a mate, but like I hate you in the chat so much. You have the best jokes in the chat. Maverick says transform it into drum and bass halfway through. Yeah, this is Lad is saying maybe try dropping the reverb in certain sections. And Lad Colton, they had a fantastic track in our previous stream, and their vocals were absolutely perfect. So if they're suggesting it, definitely give it a try. But besides that, like honestly, I'm not going to tell you like push the bass a dB, push the vocals a dB. This is sounding really good. What you need to do from here is not mess it up. I would say try to add something in that gives it a break or an interlude, gives you a bit of contrast, but don't push and pull your faders too much. Don't put too many effects on, because I actually really like where this is sitting. The soundscape sounds awesome. If you do want to try anything really experimental, open a new project. You know, save this, open a duplicate project, and then mess around with that. But keep this where it is, because I'm really, really liking it. And thank you for being polite in the chat when I skipped your track. I really appreciate that. It's awesome that we have a community where I skip something by mistake and people aren't just like swearing at me and, you know, being bothered. So love it. This person has been producing for 2 years, and it's their first song to deserve a release. No need to sugarcoat anything. They want to hear our exact thoughts. So let's, we'll still be kind, but like, they're asking us to be honest and a bit brutal. Atonal start, man. I hope the tuning like locks in and just, you know what I mean? The only, like, there's this scratchy element that just keeps coming back, but like I love how like melodically and harmonically interesting this is, but there's this element that just feels consistently too loud. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's like a synth. I'm going to try and isolate it for you, because that just feels a bit too loud, and everything else feels like it would be a bit more balanced if I sorted that out. About here and here. Those two combined. But it's that constant thing that's just like, you can hear it. It just sounds too loud. So I think if you take that down and all the other synths can just open up. This is quite long continuously, but it's also really, really cool. This again sort of it gives me this sort of like John Hopkins kind of feel to it. I feel like they could be a fantastic reference. I feel like every time I reference them, I get it wrong. So I'm going to check the artist name. It is John Hopkins. Yes, because there's like a Johns Hopkins hospital or university, isn't there? John Hopkins, I think, would be a fantastic reference for you. Sorry if you can hear my stomach growling. That's not very good. John Hopkins would be a fantastic reference because you'll see how they push and pull with variety and how they make everything lock in. At this point here, it's like almost there. There's just a few synth elements that are just, in my opinion, way too loud. And it's throwing off like how cool of a groove you've got there, because you do have this real good sort of chug underneath the track that I think should be emphasized a bit more. So I would say leave it where it is for now. Listen to a bunch of John Hopkins, listen to the mix, listen to the groove, and then open this back up. And I think it will become apparent like which things you could push and pull. Does that make sense? Let me see. I mean, what people are saying over and over and over again is like the arrangement. I love that. Synths are really cool, but like everything just needs a balance and an EQ. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna go have my wife actually made a beautiful cake today, so I'm gonna have a bunch of that as soon as the stream's over. I'm so lucky today. Like, I'm just doing a stream and then I get to finish and there's like a cake. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay. What have we got here? This was the last one, but you know, when it comes to advice on how to like transition more smoothly and make it more of a song rather than loops, that would be what I'd say. Like John Hopkins, look at him and recommended artists, and it will give you some great ideas, far more than I could ever share. I think we need at least one more track from the bucket before we're done. Okay. There were about 100 names in here this time. So this is, oh, you know what? This is one we've had, this person we've had before, but not this. We haven't played their music in a while. This is, I'll show you. Come on, focus. There you go. Just so you know it's real. Sometimes people get chosen stream after stream, and you know, we sometimes get comments thinking, oh, this is all set up or whatever. It's not. So we'll do this one. Just this, hopefully this will be playing us out because their music's usually pretty good. Cool. Yeah, enough talking.
Make some noise, it makes some noise, make some noise, make some noise.
Oh yeah.
It makes some noise, make some noise. It makes some noise, make some noise, make some noise. It makes some noise, da-da. One and five, I shine and fire, let's control, none and body.
Well, everybody, it's been a good stream.
One and five, I shine and fire, let's control, none and body. Yeah, none and body on the floor. Don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. Don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. Don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. Don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. I want your body,
Focus down a bit.
I want your body, yeah, like hell, cause there's nobody to compare. I want your body, I want your body, yeah, like hell, cause there's nobody to compare.
Only thing I'd say, honestly, because it's like limited so loud, we'll play this to enjoy the end of the stream, but it's so loud that obviously you're getting that crunch, you're getting that clipping. If that's what you want, then lean into it. If you don't want that distortion, you know, send me a message and we can I'll help you with the limiting and the clipping. I'm hearing a bit of vocal sibilance coming through. Sorry if that's like really sharp on the mic here. Those sort of S sounds, I can usually tolerate them, but there's a few that sound very whistly at around maybe, I think 6 or 7K, and they're just cutting through, and it's the only thing that's like really taking me out and like distracting me. Other than that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, like hell, cause there's nobody to compare. Don't wanna work steady,
I love the distortion personally.
Yeah, don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. Don't wanna work steady,
and they've only been making beats for 9 months.
I don't wanna work steady, I don't wanna just listen to somebody, yeah. I want your body, yeah, like hell, cause there's nobody to compare. I want your body, yeah, like hell, cause there's there's nobody, cause there's nobody to compare, nobody, cause there's nobody, yeah.
At times the vocals are, I feel like they're pushing and pulling with the timing a bit. Don't want to be too harsh. I like the distortion. I think for a track like this, it makes perfect sense. I'm not going to tell you to clean it up. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is really, really cool. I'm just seeing if there's any, but like, yeah, it's I think it's a difficult, it's tricky to get the flow right on the vocals, but like, I really think it all got us there right away. We love it. It's a great, great track. Right, I'm gonna let this play out, but what happens is I press play and then I want to like say stuff and thank everybody. So I want to say really big thank you firstly to everybody that's commenting in the chat and has shared amazing feedback. I'm going to look back at the live chat and people that have been particularly helpful over and over again. I'm going to try to queue you up for next time. It's difficult. Yeah, the whistle will distract Solo. Thank you, David. It's difficult as I'm, you know, doing these streams to like always remember who's giving feedback, and you know, my short-term memory is not fantastic. But yeah, to answer some of your questions, you know, if you want to get in the bucket for the next stream, I will, I always announce the streams at least a week or two in advance on YouTube. So I don't have the date for the next stream, but it's going to be early June. I've got a video coming out on the 5th of June, so it'll probably be after that, but I will they'll always be linked on my live tab on YouTube, and I always talk about them on Instagram. I link the event on Discord. All of these links are in the description, and Brushy's going to put a link to the Discord as well, probably. I mention the streams over and over again on all my platforms, so as long as you're following me somewhere with notifications on. An error I've made over the years is I've never asked people like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. I've never said this. Well, I said it in like one video a couple of weeks ago. And as a result, like sometimes when I do streams, you don't get the notifications. But if you're here, you did. So it's like I'm sort of preaching to the choir. So as long as you're following me on Instagram, Discord, YouTube, you'll see the live stream. And then if you submit at least an hour before the stream, your name will be put in the bucket, which gives you a much greater chance of being played. Yeah, it's all right though. And yeah, just like people are saying in the chat, YouTube is crazy. Like sometimes I'll post a video with, I always put effort in, but it's usually videos that like you do quickly, you don't put the best edit in, and then they like blow up. And then there's other videos where you try to like do some experimental stuff. You try to have fun, just like my last video where you post it and then YouTube sends you these amazing notifications, right? They send you this thing saying, your latest video is 10th out of 10. It's performing worse than anything else you've posted. You should try making videos like these other ones. And then it tells you like, we're going to suggest this to less of your subscribers. And it's just, I just look at it and go, wow, like they're literally telling me make clickbait or just make ML Studio tutorials. But I like doing different things. I love these streams. They're so fun. So again, a huge thank you to Boombox and to anyone that signs up using those links. If you sign up and you have that badge next to your name, you'll have, again, more chance of getting streamed. But I hate to just end on something negative because I'm so happy that I get the chance to do these streams and that we get to have a community here and also over on Discord. These streams really carry over onto Discord sometimes, where we get to all lift each other up. I've seen, and people have sent me finished tracks that they published on Spotify from these streams, and you get to see it month after month, like how much people progress. So anyway, all that to say, thank you very much. I'll let you know the next stream at least a week or two in advance, and I hope to see you there too. I'm going to keep changing the day of the week. This was Wednesday. We haven't done that before, but it seemed it was a great day for a lot of people. Anyway, I'm going to play this song out because it's great, and we'll just end there. But thank you very much, everyone. See you next time. Appreciate all of you. And thank you, Brushy. Thank you, Soul. Thank you, everyone who's moderating. See ya.
On fire, I shine on fire, lost control, now I'm body. Yeah, now I'm body on the floor. On fire, I shine on fire, lost control, now I'm body. Yeah, now I'm body on the floor. Don't wanna work steady, I wanna just listen body, yeah. Don't wanna work steady, I wanna just listen body, yeah. Don't wanna work steady, I wanna just listen body, yeah. Don't wanna your vibe.